Welcome back to DayBreak Grenada. Of course, we're on the streets of St. George's, right in front of the Bruce Street Mall, and I'm actually here with a constable,
Roberts.
Constable
Constable Douglas Roberts.
Douglas Roberts, and he's going to be talking to us a little bit about loitering and bus etiquette. So, what is happening as regards to that?
Well, first of all, as I was introduced as Douglas Roberts, I want to state that I'm attached to the community relations of the Royal Grenada Police Force. And part of our mandate within the community relations department is basically to do press release and to show a community policing side of the Royal Grenada Police Force, whereby we get in touch with the communities, around to what should I say, to blend, so to speak, with the community, blending with the community to show a friendly side of policing to the community. We also entertain complaints against police officers. There might be grievances that persons might have in terms of the service that we render. They can also come to the community relations department to vent those grievances. Now, on the subject of bus drivers and so forth, and the problems that we've been experiencing with bus drivers, I'd like to speak in particular to the problem of bus drivers picking up passengers on places that are not designated as bus stops. And so this is a problem, a big problem with the police, because you find this particular offense just keep recurring, and sometimes bus drivers would be given many tickets, but the problem never cease to continue. The thing is, we as a force has lobbied with the government to bring laws to bear upon that problem, to bring it in line. And if you would have listened to the last throne speech by our Governor General, he would have brought that particular issue to bear, whereby he disclosed that the authorities are looking into making legislation whereby persons who individuals who seek to take buses off the different bus stops will be held liable. So in that context, much is being done legislatively to address that particular situation. We also have the incidents of bus drivers lingering on bus stops to pick up passengers or such. The law would allow bus drivers to ply a certain route, and the fact that persons are standing on the bus stop to stop and pick them up, but the law does not permit a bus driver to linger on a bus stop for the purpose of soliciting passengers to get on board. So many times bus drivers get themselves in problem in that light with officers. And so from time to time, many bus drivers and conductors would come to the community relations department and vent their concerns about maybe how officers would have handled them in that light. But one of the things I want to underscore to bus drivers is that we need to, as a society, coexist. We understand that some of the bus drivers are having problems in the bus terminus to really get a proper load, as the case might be, and they do have their commitments. While that is understandable, the Royal Grenada Police Force, which is entrusted with responsibility to ensure law and order in the town and in society by and large, we are seeking to ask bus drivers to work within the confines of the law and do not get entangled with the law, whereby you probably would have to come to the community relations department and make a report, and looking at the complaint, basically you would have been found wanting when it comes to not complying with the law.
Constable, I have to interject and slightly disagree with you, because I'm actually a bus commuter and I use the bus quite often. Well, I use the bus all the time. And one of the reasons I know persons tend to pick up the buses along town, other than the terminus, is probably because 2 bus stops in St. George's were removed. That's the one right behind the tunnel where we are, and the one on Herbert Blaze Street. So, it makes it very difficult for people to get to where they're going, get to where they want to be. So is there some sort of effort to perhaps reintroduce these bus stops? Because you need to work with the people as well.
While that is true, we have to understand that the law must be adhered to. The Commissioner of Police is responsible for designating bus stops in places, and he has a discretion. And I think the reason why those two bus stops were removed, the one on H.A. Blaze Street and the one just behind us at the tunnel area, is simply because these problems are doing more harm than good in terms of regulating the smooth flow of traffic.
Right.
So it was by way of necessity that these bus stops were removed. It's unfortunate that persons are negatively affected in that light, but I would like to make reference to situations in the developed world. You cannot take a bus on a place that is not designated as a bus stop, as not being a bus stop in the developed world. Regardless to how far that bus terminus is, you would have to walk there or maybe get a taxi to get there to really go to your intended destination. And I think we as a people, we have to rise to the occasion of respecting the law and complying with. Though there might be circumstances where an officer may apply discretion. For instance, rain is falling and an elderly woman might, let's say, be on Melville Street and basically she has difficulty walking and probably she might have load, and so I see no reason why maybe a bus driver cannot ask the permission of a police officer who might be around, or maybe even assist that elderly lady, as the case might be, or a lady with a child in her hand and so forth. Due to the inclemency of the weather, due to the fact that rain is falling, I don't see why a bus driver would not be allowed by a police officer to pick up a passenger, given those circumstances. Nevertheless, the law must be complied to. And we find that things are very, very much going out of control, where bus drivers just indiscriminately pick up passengers due to the fact that they do not want to stay or wait in the line on their turn. And we think that while we understand the underlying concerns that they have in regards to their monthly commitments and so forth, making money, we also want to advocate that the law must be adhered to.
I wanted to ask as well, I think both of the points so far have been fairly just, but there's also this issue of buses, even when they do stop at a bus stop or they're not necessarily lingering, but some of the bus stops are actually off of the road to allow traffic to flow, and I see a lot of the buses will actually just put a front wheel into the bus stop but will actually still continue to block the flow of traffic. Is there anything being done concerning that?
To be honest with you, I mean, I hate to probably put it in this way. Some of our bus drivers are very much indifferent and defiant in regards to their attitude and so forth. And it kind of always breeds a measure of probably conflict or contempt, with the police. And so I want to appeal to bus drivers. Understand that we live in a country where there's laws and you need to abide by the law. The reason why I stated earlier on the bus stop behind me and the bus stop on H.A. Blaze Street were removed, you'd find bus drivers lingering. And sometimes we have 1, 2, 3, 4 buses just lingering. One from St. David's, 2 from Grandans, 1 from Springs, maybe 1 from Woodlands, as the case might be, just pack up on H.A. Blaze Street. And it creates a blockage on, I call that street by Communal Cooperative Green Street. It creates a blockage where on the entrance of Green Street, and basically that was a problem that was just expanding over a period of time, where persons could not have freely go onto Green Street because of that situation. And so the Commissioner of Police back then had seen it necessary to remove that bus stop there. Even in Grandans, I mean, some of the bus drivers, they don't stop on the bus stop, they would stop on basically before the bus stop or on the edge of the bus stop and so forth, and it creates a whole lot of problem for other persons plying the road. And so we want to reiterate that bus drivers must understand that this country is governed by laws and you ought to comply with the law.
So, I mean, aside from that, it is an inconsideration when there's clearly a space for a bus to pull in. As a driver, I get very frustrated when I'm behind a bus, there is a place for him to pull in and he doesn't pull in. It's very frustrating. It feels like an inconsideration. And unfortunately, it creates this I'm not sure, antagonism between me as a driver and against all bus drivers. I assume all bus drivers are these terrible, inconsiderate people, and it's not necessarily the case.
See, it's all about making money. It's all about the whole competition that exists between the bus drivers and so forth. Like, let's say in Grandans down by the bus stop by the roundabout, the
Wall Street?
No, Wall Street. Well, that in itself also presents a problem. The one by CK's as well. Nearly all of the bus stops in Grandans, the bus drivers present that challenge where they park either before the bus stop or on the edge of the bus stop to probably, should I put it in this term, foul another bus in the sense of getting a passenger. See, they park before the bus stop. Persons who are approaching the bus stop is able to take that bus first rather than the bus that is parked off the road properly on the bus terminus. So basically it's a whole breeding of lawlessness, furnished I think by greed, an unwanted competition, unwarranted competition scenario, and you know, it's just all about chasing after dollars and maybe monthly commitment. But bus drivers need to be considerate.
So are you guys going to remove the bus stops in Grenada as well, just because of that?
We cannot afford to do that, as you mentioned earlier on. We need to
so the
be
Grenada
sensitive.
people can be comfortable, but the people in town can't be.
What we will do, what we will endeavor to do, is to step up our vigilance in regards to policing. I know that present commissioner is very passionate, not just about fighting the hard crime. He's also passionate about the traffic issues. And if you look lately, we've had police patrols, stop and such lately have been beefed up a bit. We've also had officers now policing Scott Street area, and you know, this is all a move to really address the unbecoming situation with the traffic.
You know, funny as you say the Scott Street, I've been noticing that, you know, police are out almost up to 8 o'clock and after 8. And, you know, people usually say, well, police finishing at 6 o'clock. So I must commend the police force for, you know, putting in the extra time on the streets of St. George's. You know, has it been beneficial so far? Have you seen changes?
Well, it has been beneficial, and it's something that we always seek to drive home, the fact of police presence. When a police is around, the likelihood of somebody committing a crime is kind of less. Police presence, that vigilance of the police officer. I've been speaking to a particular businessman in town, and one of the things he's been clamoring for is the fact that he's not seeing police officers on the streets. And he says he wants to see more police officers on the street, simply because sometimes people walk into his store, shoplift, he looks outside, maybe there's not a police around, as the case may be, and he just thinks that there need to be a greater prevalence of police officers patrolling the streets. It's one of our proactive policing measures. It's a crime deterrent in the sense to see police around, it deters criminal intent.
Now, you mentioned that you're part of a department where you can actually submit complaints about police officers and other things. How can persons actually, you know, get in contact with you, and what is the process of, you know, sharing their complaints and concerns?
Well, our department is strategically placed. Our department basically is the first building as you enter in Fort George, the first building on your left-hand side. So it's virtually it's like you're coming to police headquarters to file a complaint against a police officer, maybe different things that probably concern you. It may not be a complaint against the police. It may also be things that you see the police could really take steps to really address to prevent a situation. And so our number is 440-3764. That's the Community Relations Department. Or you can call us on 405 5234. 5234.
You sure about that number? You don't want somebody
I'm
to
sure
be...
about that.
Next thing I answer my phone and somebody saying
another thing I would like to quickly address, I think that we're running out of time, but another thing I'd quickly like to address is the whole issue of loitering. We have been doing public sensitization on the issue of students loitering in town. It's a real ugly sight. You know, students should seem businesslike and studious, and on these very said streets here, on afternoons, you know, you find students loitering and so forth, girls sitting in boys' lap, and you know, sometimes we even see them at the back of this building here doing all kind of promiscuous activities and so forth. We really and truly would like to appeal to our young students within the St. George's area.
Secondary school?
Secondary school students in particular. We do have instances of primary school students also.
Primary school?
Certainly. We want to appeal to students, please. The Melville Street area, the Church Street area, and for the matter of fact, anywhere around town is no areas for you just idly standing by doing anything. It constitutes an offense in that of loitering. We'd like to send a message to you that you need to desist from loitering or idling around town, because you will be dealt with by the law.
Will they be arrested or?
They can be arrested. We're moving into serious seriously considering arresting some students, because the problem continues to reoccur over and over and over again. I think until some stern message goes out to the students that loitering is an offense, I think that the point will be understood with a few of them being arrested.
Well, I can vouch for the students that you see walking by this morning. They walk by here every morning. They're going into school, so we'll let them slide this
They
morning.
may stop to talk to us on DayBreak Grenada,
They look
but that's
businesslike.
fine. Yeah.
They look business-like.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, I didn't want to just keep it all doom and gloom and police officers being the big bad guy. I know that you guys are doing a lot of positive stuff. You spoke to me about the Police Boys Club. Tell me a little bit about that.
Well, the Police Boys Club is a mentorship trust from the Royal Grenada Police Force. It's one of our community policing endeavors. We have many endeavors in terms of reaching out to the community. We've done many things. Bill Boss shared. We've worked with community groups, clean rivers and so forth. We have assist with the street naming and so forth. We have also worked in relation with the Ministry of Health in terms of erecting litter signs and so forth. We have also done our own erection of signs in regards to sand mining and so forth. As a department, the force basically, we are a community-oriented force. We do not try to alienate our society simply because we depend upon our society to solve crime. And from the Office of the Community Relation Department, we really and truly try to reach out to the community. We are basically a friendly force by and large, not just
Right.
a community relation. We are a friendly force. There might be glitches, there might be instances where people feel negatively aggrieved. We are also appealing. You can come to the Community Relations Department and venture concern. We'll be happy to assist you.
Right. So we're seeing smiling police officers.
You're seeing one this morning.
Of course, of course. So, all those people loitering in town, they could afford to join the Police Boys Club. Do you have another
Yeah,
section for girls as well, or?
Discussions have been done where giving girls the consideration has taken place, but
Right.
no move has been made yet to really involve the girls. I want to finally probably invite most of our Police Boys Club around St. George's on Saturday the 19th. We are having a little fun and games at the Tantine playing field. It starts from 12 in the p.m. to 5. It's going to be an event whereby the boys are going to be bringing their parents, or expected to bring their parents,
Right.
especially their father, to just have a good time. Cricket will be played, football and so forth. It's an afternoon of fun and activities among the different Police Boys Club within St. George's. This is another initiative that we're taking to really mentor our young men. In closing, the Ministry of Social Development is also collaborating efforts with us to really observe International Men's Day.
Right.
And they're going to use that occasion to really speak to dads in a motivational sense, to help fathers to understand the position in society as men, to accept the position and to really make a difference, because that's what men are here for, to make a difference, a positive difference in our society and in our nation's youth. So we're going to invite the fathers of those boys within the Police Boys Club to come along and be a part of the whole event.
Right. And of course, women are here to make a difference too. I don't know what you're saying, men alone. You have to include us. But thank you so much, Constable, for joining us and sharing, telling us about the police and how friendly they're being in the community right now.